Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Edward Joseph, and let's talk live. Kenneka Jenkins, the narrative is changing. All right, let's talk. Well, today, peoples, has been such an interesting day. I'm here, I am live, and I am going to talk about some things, peoples. Peoples, Kenneka Jenkins, the narrative is changing. Peoples, the narrative is changing. And as you can see, peoples, no longer can they hide behind the BS that was shown to us for all of this time, peoples. The narrative is changing. The narrative is changing rapidly, peoples, and we now see the BS that has been played out. See, peoples, I have been telling you all for the longest time, and nobody has been believing me. But I had clearly stated that all that video footage is hilarious and nefarious, and that Kenneka Jenkins never walked the halls of that establishment. Peoples, when you go back in history and you look at all of the nefarious madness that they have shown, then you will come to understand what all that had went place, what all that had took place. And I don't care how many times the YouTubers try to reduce. I don't care how many times the YouTubers try to literally sit here and play like they know everything about this case. I don't know how many times the YouTubers sit and try to protect and defend their stance. It is clearly shown that all of this stuff was a major setup. And that the girl was sacrificed. Just like they do in Hollywood, is just like how they did her and many other people. Kenneka was a sacrificial lamb. She was sacrificed, people. And if you can't understand that, well, then I don't know what to tell you. Because there is nothing in that video footage that can ever prove to you that Kenneka Jenkins was in it at all, period. Nothing. And it's funny how 36 hours of video footage that they gave can be all condensed down into just a few clips of her supposedly have walked into the halls of that establishment. People, put on your thinking caps, because it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this out. And they had paid people to go out there and put out false mantra for many of you to believe. And they did an excellent job, because many of you believed the BS. And I'm going to continue to keep saying this over and over and over again until many of you get it. And what I am saying is this: ask yourself the question, peoples. Ask yourself the question. When the young lady had walked into the kitchen and back there in the trajectory of the freezer, ask yourself the question: why did the video abruptly end at that particular time? And then subsequently come back at the time to when the man came and shown that she was in the freezer. That is so damn convenient. It is crazy, peoples. It's crazy. And many of you still were trying to figure this out. And I'm kind of like, well, that doesn't make no sense, peoples. What sense does it make for this young lady to walk back there in the trajectory of the freezer, and then after which the video closes out, and then we see this beverage manager arbitrarily just comes back there and finds Kenneka Jenkins in a double locked freezer? Help me to make that make sense, peoples. Really, come on. I mean, I'm asking you. Help me to make that make sense. What sense does that make? And then the video footage, as Custom Design had shown you on his post, the video footage that was provided to the news organization was provided by none other than the police department itself. Now, come on, peoples. I know that you're better than that. I know you think better than that. I know you can do better than that, because they are the ones who put all of this madness together. They're the ones. They're the ones who put all of this madness together. And so I'm just trying to figure out, why do people believe? Why do people believe that that was Kenneka Jenkins? Why? Why do people believe that that was Kenneka Jenkins? I don't understand that for the likes of me people. Why do you believe that when there is no evidence of that whatsoever, that Kenneka ever walked into that freezer or ever walked the halls of that establishment? Why? Why do people believe that? Well, people believe that because of the simple fact that they told you that. That's why people believe it. And so that's based on what the people believe. They have been showing you. The attorney had told you himself that Kenneka Jenkins' body laid in the freezer a day and a half, which I have literally told you all when I had saw the body on the gurney. I said she's been in there at least a day and a half, rotting in the freezer. He told you that because as it was shown, peoples, the video shows that Kenneka was supposed to have came up missing on the 9th and then subsequently found on the 10th. Well, that is not 36 hours. Even that alone should have been a red flag for all of you to understand that this is bullshit. Because why would two attorneys continue to keep referencing a 36-hour window? Well, from the 9th to the 10th, it's not 36 hours, people. Last that I checked, it is 24 hours in a day, not 36 hours in a day. Last that I checked, that why would Lenora be the one who goes and put out a missing persons report upon her sister when TM had literally supposedly had came down to the establishment herself? Why is that, people's? And then why would she go ahead and make a 911 call and have a conversation with the dispatcher when she could have made the 911 call from her home? Why did she wait until she gets to the establishment to make a 911 call? And then you've already known that she wasn't going nowhere without James Coleman. So you already knew James Coleman was there. And you already knew Lenora Harris was there because, again, how did Lenora Harris get to the establishment? Did Lenora Harris, do she drive? Did she ride with anybody else? I mean, go back to the testimony of what she had said when she gave that commentary to the news. She stated that it looked like my sister had put up a fight. Looked like my sister had put up a fight. And her hair was all over her head. Inconsistencies, people. Inconsistencies that tells me that these people already knew what happened to Kenneka. and was trying to cover all of this madness up. They knew. So when we go back and we reference not the case files, but what they had said, their statements, the statements that they had made up on the news organizations, Dr. Oz and the radio station. When we go back and reference the statements that they had made when they were outside in front of Crown Plaza. We reference the statements, people, and when we reference the statements, we referencing the madness that they have been saying for all of that time, peoples. Yes, you need to go back, and you need to go back and reference all of that, peoples, because that tells you everything that you need to know. I've been telling you that for the longest time, peoples. I've been telling you that for the longest time, but nobody's been wanting to listen to Edward Joseph. Well, now you'll listen to Edward Joseph. You'll finally listen to Edward Joseph and what he has to say about this case, peoples. Because when I discovered that, I said, you know something? I can't sit here in good conscience and go ahead and say that this young lady walked the halls of that establishment when I know good and well she didn't. I know good and well because I can see it. You know, no evidence whatsoever. And then all you have is clips of her, but you don't have no definitive, no decisive information, videos, pictures, anything that clearly shows and state that Kenneka Jenkins ever walked the halls of that establishment. I told you that. I told you that, peoples. I told you that many, many, many times. And you got Casey Chloe O'Vera Sanchez Medina, who just so emphatic. Well, I did the research. Show your proof. Show your proof. Well, I did show my proof. I showed my proof when I had shown you what TM's attorney had stated. He's already stated. So when he referenced the 36 hours, Casey Chloe O'Vera Sanchez Medina, then help me to make that make sense, Mel. When he referenced the 36 hours, how do you get 36 hours out of less than 24 hours? You can't. He stated that, not Edward Joseph. So because he stated that, well, then people, what does that say? That says that of what they had stated is not actual, factual, or true. Y'all hold on. I'm at the house here, and so I'm getting ready to go and pick up my son. Is Mike in the car with you? Okay, tell him. Huh? Yeah, we gotta go. All right, y'all. Y'all hold on. I gotta pick up my son. Okay, people, so I am back. So when the attorney referenced the 36 hours, there is absolutely no possible way that anybody can ever debunk that. Not even Casey Chloe O'Vera Sanchez Medina, what she literally tries to change the timeline to coincide with the madness that she has been speaking. She's literally trying to do that. She's literally trying to do that. And so you can't. So I've already got hip to her game, and I've already got hip to the game that the people play. All of these YouTubers and Facebookers has been playing this game for the longest time, peoples. And so now the game cannot be played no more because of the simple fact, peoples, that they got busted big time. And I busted them for the nefarious madness that they've been saying. And so there you have it, peoples. You know, there you have it. When they want to try to go up against Edward Joseph with this hilarious, nefarious narrative, well, then they can't, peoples. They absolutely can't, because as you can see, I'm on them big time. And so I have been calling them out for all of the madness that they've been speaking, because see, the thing is, peoples, all you have to do is just do your research. All you have to do is just go back yourself and look at all of the video footage, reference all of the statements that they've made, and then you'll understand, peoples, where I'm coming from what I've been coming from all of this time. That's all you got to do. You don't have to believe me. I'm not asking you to take my word for it. All you have to do is just do your due diligence yourself. And when you do that, peoples, then you will discover some things. You will discover some things, people, for yourself. And when you discover it for yourself, then and only then, peoples, it's when you'll be able to understand that of what I've been trying to convey to you for the longest time. Kenneka Jenkins never walked the halls of that establishment. That's all you got to do. All you have to do. See, peoples, it can never be no confusion if the peoples would just go and sit back and cross-reference that of what has been stated. That's all you have to do. Just go back and cross-reference the various things that was stated in this case. And then that way, there would never be no argument. There would be no fussing, no fighting, no confusion. Because then you compare the things that I say compared to the things I ask you to take a look at, and you can clearly see it for yourself. But see, where the confusion always is when the people sit and they don't do their due diligence. And they want to go and reference what other people state. And when they do that, people's, that's where the confusion comes in. Because when they go and reference other people and the other people don't have the information right, well, then that's where the confusion comes in, peoples. That's where the confusion comes in. And so that you don't be confused, reference the information for yourself. Then you'll be and have a great understanding about this case. There's no need for me to sit here day in and day out, and sit and lie to you peoples. Because I have studied this thing myself. I've studied the information, I studied the timeline, I studied the videos, I studied the pictures, I studied everything. Everything except for the case files, because it was no need to study the case files when the case files is hilarious and nefarious in itself. So it was no need for me to study that. So need for me to. You want to reference case files? Reference the case files. You want to believe all of this madness? Then believe all of the madness. That doesn't bother me whatsoever, peoples. Doesn't bother me one bit. But the good thing is that when you do your own research, then you will come to discover the various things that I have been stating forever and a day. You'll see it for yourself. And when you see it for yourself, peoples, then you will come to know that everything that I was saying was true. All you got to do is study it for yourself, peoples. When you study it for yourself, you'll come to discover a great deal. Boy, my son comes in with a bag full of stuff. He's got bags upon bags upon bags. Bags upon bags upon bags. So
yeah, I'll get back, okay? Okay. All right, Edward.
okay. All right. Well, he's got bags upon bags upon bags. So that's good. So we're just on our way home. Oh, and happy Valentine's Day is coming up, I know, for all of the people who have a Valentine or don't have a Valentine. Well, then, y'all had a whole year to get a Valentine. And if you didn't get one, well, then that's on you. You know, don't complain when you don't get a gift because you had all of that time to get a Valentine. Yeah, I like that. You had all that time to get a Valentine. All right, cool. All right, so these people.
Okay.
Okay. You had all that time to get a Valentine. I like that. Cool. But anyway, so like I was saying before, peoples, like I was saying before, you have to do the research for yourself to come and discover some things for yourself. You know, don't depend upon people to give you all of the information and everything and take it for face value, take it for law. And don't even take me for the things that I say for face value and take it for law. You got to do your own research and you got to come up with your own conclusion. Because when you do that, then you're doing it for yourself, not for me. I'm just giving you from what I see, from what I was able to ascertain from the video footage. You know, you got to do it for yourself to be satisfied. Because, see, the thing is, you can argue with me up and down, but your argument really doesn't mean anything to me. You know, argue all you want to, but your argument really don't mean nothing to me because of the simple fact that what I say is my mantra, is my narrative, is what I believe, is what I say. And so I don't know why people want to sit back and argue with me based upon that of what I'm saying. They come into the chat room, know that this and didn't happen and that didn't happen and stuff. Well, then my thing is, instead of arguing about it, why don't you show me something that you believe? But they never do. All they do is just come in and argue and want me to change the things that I'm saying. Why? Why should I change the things that I'm saying for you? I told you what my stance is. All you have to do is just go back and watch all of my lives and stuff. Everything that I've said about this case is in my lives. Go back and watch my lives. You'll understand what my stance is. So the days of me trying to show you or prove to you anything, I don't need to. Go back and watch my lives. And that I can't show, I'm not going to show. Not now. So you worried about that? Well, then keep worrying about that, because that's not going to happen. You know, that's not going to happen. I'm not here to be beholding to anybody. You know, that's the thing. I think a lot of you people, y'all got things mixed up, because y'all think that people are beholding to you. You think that people are supposed to bow down and do what you say do and show what you say show and stuff like that. No, those days is over with. Show me your proof. Show me your proof. Well, I don't need to show you jack. I gave you my proof. I gave you everything that I was going to give you. Now, you don't like it. Well, then too bad. Shit, man. I need to go down to the other one. I'm not spending all this money for this gas over here. That's crazy. So I'll go to the other one. Highway robbery are over here. I'm over here in my old city that I grew up in, Richmond. And these people are trying to rank a person with this gas and stuff. That's why I'm glad that I'm where I am. Because I'm not going to sit here and spend all of this money for this stuff. So that's what it is, people. You know, I've gotten the new memory. I've gotten new software. So I'm going to get in here. I'm already copying all of the video footage and everything onto the new hard drive. So I'm going to erase my other hard drive, have it clean slate, initialize it and have a clean slate. So don't have nothing on it. And that'll be a backup to the backup. So put everything down on one hard drive, and I'm going to work up that hard drive. And it's going to take me almost a year to fill that one up. So that's a good thing. All right, let me get some gas here. Y'all hold on for a moment. Got to fill my Metro with some petrol so we can go. Oh. They got, I ain't never seen this before. Have you guys ever seen this before? They got a lock on the thing, and there's no hose on it. Never seen nothing like that. All right, so there we go. Tap the card. Tap that. Okay, lift the handle. Yeah. Shit, the other place is like 30. Oh God. That guy's gonna get a ticket because look at his car. He don't even have no back windshield. Wow, I heard of being poor, but man, alive. You know, that is absolutely dangerous. Sit up there with no back windshield on your car. Okay. So, like I said, I got the new hard drive, and I'm grateful for that. So, for all of my supporters who had financially helped me with the I don't want to receive. I better take all of my supporters who had helped me with the hard drive and stuff, who had supported the channel. Okay, nothing. All right. I want to say thank you because you guys have literally helped me out a great deal. So that's a beautiful thing. So now got a lot of memory now. So now I won't be running out. And then my computer won't be freezing up like it was, because that's what it does. That's letting you know that you're low on memory. When your computer freezes up like that, these people are going to be here all night, uh, putting together roses and things like that. That's beautiful. So they got a stand and they put together roses. They got fruit and all that stuff. So, one thing about Mexican people, they are very resilient. They know how to they know how to work. They know how to get their thing on. They pull their money together and just make it happen. And if we can do that, then we'll be all better off. Well, springtime is here, peoples. This is February. Well, not quite yet, but it's coming. Springtime is coming. So it's time for new things, people. So I may not be on for just a couple of days throughout this week because, again, like I say, I got to take some time to study this new software and start organizing everything. I'm glad that I got this new thing to where I organize all of my photos and stuff so I can see it just right off the bat instead of having to click this folder, that folder, and things like that. Just click the thing and photos will come up. And I can swipe through that real quick to make my points on things like that. So that's a beautiful thing. So I'm happy that that came with that. But I'm gonna get in here. I'm I'm putting it. I'm putting together a new intro piece. So now I have a little bit of money left over to where I can get some accessories to my editing software to where I can do a little bit more dramatical um, intros and things, because I just have the basics. So you guys supported me very well. I'm totally appreciative of that because see, my haters, they thought that nothing was going to happen to my channel, but as they figured out, as they can see, Edward Joseph, I have a good following and I have a good group of people who do support. And all of you guys support and stuff really is demonstrated in the shows. And so for my haters, y'all keep on hating because I love you. You ain't gonna stop this channel. We are doing great things, and I just continue to do that. Continue to keep rising. You know. Oh man, they done shut down all of the. They didn't just make that one big gigantic hall. Okay. Now for space for people to come in and host a birthday party and stuff. So that's beautiful. used to throw down on this good, delicious food, I'll be like, oh my God, that is just. But they're no longer in business over there because I see that they have revamped it now. So this is what I say, people. It's time for change. It's time to do new things. Time to do things different. Time to elevate. Time to change the way that we have been doing things. And I know I have. I have really changed considerably. I've been getting in here and I've been reading a lot of different things and stuff, which have been giving me a lot of good ideas. And so I'm going to try this new thing out. I don't know how successful I'll be at it, but because I've never been one to kind of like do a storyline, you know, do a storyline while the video is playing and things, and tell the story about that of what's being shown. I've always did things on the fly. I'm gonna try it out and see. And if it doesn't work, then I just go back to what I've always been doing, which I've always been effective with. So I'm going to make a poignant video with some animations and things, as you guys has blessed me. So I'm gonna put that in effect, see how that goes. So for probably the next month, I'm going to be toning down on my lives so I can study a lot of this editing software. And the better I get at that, then the better I can be able to showcase and show a lot of different things that I need to do. Because talking about cases and things, that's good, but people want to see different things and stuff. And so, they want to see pictures and they want to see video clips and they want to see, the postings of what the people post and all like that and stuff. So I'm going to start incorporating more of that into my lives. It's like I've always been doing, but it's going to be a little bit more organized. As you can see now, tonight, I was just testing out that new photo thing that came with the hard drive. So I organized all of my photos and it gave me the dates and stuff, which is good. So I can easily just zoom through, navigate, make my point, move on to the next one and stuff instead of clicking on a folder here, folder there, so on and so forth. Man, that I was really loving. See, Google used to have that. It used to call Pisca. Used to be called Pisca, but they discontinued it for whatever reason. I don't know. And I was pissed off, boy, because I had like thousands and thousands and thousands of photos, stuff on my computer. Anything and stuff, it was automatically uploaded to that. And I was able to call it up. Didn't matter. I had photos all in folders and stuff that I totally forgot about it and things. And it uploaded to that and all of those pictures and stuff. And I was like, oh man, I didn't realize, I didn't remember that I had all this. So now this one, it doesn't automatically upload all of your photos and things. You have to click on a folder to see if the pictures is in there, which is good, which is really good. I like this one because you have control over. Well, I mean, you can have it to scan your computer, and wherever the pictures is in any folder or something, it automatically put it in there. But I don't want it to scan my computer because I don't want every folder that is on my computer registered up on there. You know, when I get time to go ahead and organize my computer to that degree like that, then I'll go ahead and do that. But for right now, I'm just happy to be able to just call up a few folders that I know that I have pictures in and organize it that way. So you see the changes that is being made, and it's positive changes and stuff, and that's cool. And then, as you guys can see, Edward Joseph's demeanor has changed a little bit too. So I've gotten a little calmer. So I'm not going off the rocker like I normally would, but you know what sparks that. So, but again, it comes up when I get to those parts to where I'm really it's just like really bothering me. Can't help that. It is what it is. And so, but I got a good group of people. I had this one young lady who come in. Well, she was just one who was browsing. She said that she stumbled upon my page and she saw me and stuff. And, she was like, well, I was screaming and hollering too much and, this, that, and the other. Which, okay, yeah, all right. I give her that. But then I also told her, too, is that, don't mistake my passion for pain. Don't just take it for, get all worked up and get all bent out of shape because I did that. You got to understand why I'm doing that. But once you understand me and understand things that I've shared and shown, then you understand where I'm coming from. And so hopefully she stuck around and had a chance to kind of see some of my other videos and things. But if not, then, that's fine too. Hey, because like I say, I can't sit here and I can't appease the whole nation. Not everybody is going to like what I do. I get it. Not everybody is not going to do that. So I don't worry about it. I just have to do what I do and keep it pushing, which is what I do. So things are settling down. Things is coming in order and stuff, just the way that I said it would. I told you all that I was going to get some new memory. I did that. Told you all that changes was coming to the channel. You see that, you know? So I'm happy. Happy with everything that's happening right now. Because that's the way that it should be. I've always tried to be transparent so you guys can see and understand where I'm coming from when I'm talking about things and showing different things and stuff. So, you're going to start seeing a lot more new changes, a lot more in-depth analysis to some really, really, really sensitive cases. Because there's a few cases that I've been looking at that is really sensitive that I want to bring awareness to. And I know for a fact that those cases will definitely be something that everybody's going to chime out on. All right, sir. I will see you next week. Y'all hold on. Let me get my baby situated. Okay. You got to put up that phone or something so you can carry. carry all this. We got all of this candy and goodies and all of this. Oh, that's for your mom. We're going to step out first, and then I'm going to hand this over to you. That's good. All right. We'll see you later this week. All right, come on, close the door. All right, people. Just dropping my baby boy home. Oh, this has been a good time. They had the had the Super Bowl for today. A lot of people were upset. I didn't care who won. I wanted to see a good game, and I did see a good game. It was tied up and stuff, and then, you know, I've always say the ones that persevere the hardest is the one that's going to win, and the one that persevered the hardest was the one that won. So, very, very, very good game. Oh man, you have to knock harder. Knock harder so they can hear you. They over here tapping on the door. Nobody gonna hear that. All right, he's in. Good. Okay, so I can get out of here, y'all. Okay, so I am going home. This has been a beautiful day, people. I am so happy. Man, I'm so elated right now. It's just incredible. I got a good group of people, and I'm just loving on you all. Good group of people. I love my supporters. Y'all are helping me make this channel change and grow. All right, come on, people, go. Y'all are helping me make this channel change and grow, and I'm loving every bit of it. Yes, I am loving every bit of it. That is what it's about, peoples, you know. That's what it's about. It's about growing. It's about changing. It's about transforming. It's about elevating. It's about doing your thing. And like I was telling like I was telling a few of the other YouTubers, you know, we may fuss and fight, we may feud, we may talk about each other, but at the end of the day, don't take all of that stuff to heart. You know, at the end of the day, don't take all of that stuff to heart because it's not even necessary. All of this stuff is internet. It's internet. It's internet madness. That's all that it is. And there's no need to get all worked up over something that somebody said. Oh, they talked about me, they said my name and all like this and stuff. Well, unless your name is registered and it's copyrighted and it has something that says that, well, this name is exclusively for you and that it cannot be spoken on or anything like that, well, then I must keep saying it. I'm so happy that, you know, all of the trivial madness that used to play out and stuff is no more. Not in this channel anyway. I mean, it still plays out on Facebook and YouTube, but on this channel, all of that trivial madness and stuff is no more. We don't give credence to all of that stuff. Hello, Lindsay. How are you now? And it's a blessing to see you on tonight. Yep, all is well, ma'am. You know, my supporters had literally helped me buy a new hard drive, and so I got the new hard drive tonight, or today, and so I been copying all of my video footage and everything from my old hard drive, and it's not that old. It's no more than about a year old because I bought it last year. So, but I copied all of my video footage and put it on my new external hard drive, and so I'm gonna just work off of that. So that was a blessing. So now I'll be able to go ahead and work off just exclusively off that hard drive and free up all of that memory on my computer, so I can work faster and quicker, which is really good. So, you know, I've asked. The Bible tells us to ask, and it shall be given. Seek, ye shall find. Knock, and the door shall be open. And so I asked, and look at what my supporters did. My supporters had blessed me. And they blessed me too. They blessed me to help me get some new software. They helped me get a new hard drive, and they blessed me. So I'm like, man, you know, I'm like, thank you, Jesus. Okay, so that is closed. This is open. Let me see if they got any drinks. Because I just want me a large high C orange.
Hello, can I get for you?
Hi, can I have a large high C orange and then 2 regular hamburgers?
Yeah.
That'd be all. Okay. Yeah, hold on for a moment. Okay. Thank you. All right. All right. Okay. Wanted to get something real quick. So they said that if you need utensils, coffee stirrers, straws, or condiments, please ask. California State Single Use Service, where law goes into effect June 1st, 2022. So it already went into effect because this is 2023. So I'm kind of like, okay, yeah, you got to help me to make sense on this one, boy. This is crazy. Now you got to ask for napkins and everything. All right, can I have a straw? Okay. Oh, okay. I just saw the thing there. I said, let me ask. Thank you. Oh man, I'm funny. All right, people, let me get home. Let me get home. Ah, let me get home. How do you make a donation, Lindsay? Well, here, let me do it like this. I'll go ahead and type it into the chat. Now, the quickest, fastest way that I do it through is through paper. I mean, through Cash App. So it'll hold on for a second. Let me look up the Cash App there. Yeah, see, people think that it's a sin to ask for a Cash App, to ask for some help, and I don't think so. I think that with all of the time and effort that I invest in these cases and talk about it and stuff, you know, I'm incurring a charge all the time, and so I think it's only right to just go ahead and ask the people. I mean, that's all I need to do is just ask. Now, if they don't do it, then they don't have to do it. That's fine. I'm not going to beg nobody, but I just ask the people, and like I say, God always send me people to assist me when the other ones just absolutely don't. Okay, so that is the Cash App information. So you can click on that. You have to download the Cash App thing if you don't have Cash App, and then you can make whatever donation that you choose to make to the channel, and everything is greatly appreciated. And so, whatever you donate and stuff, I will hold for the next segment of when I go to purchase more software or pay for StreamYard, or something. I'll go ahead and use that for that. But I greatly appreciate any and everything that you are willing to go ahead and donate. Because, like I say, all of the donations that the people have made thus far, I have saved it up, and I was able to go ahead and get a hard drive, which I made the call. I asked the people, I said, hey, I need a new hard drive. And the people, they got together and everybody made it happen. And I can't complain. I absolutely cannot complain behind that. So, you know, I'm eternally grateful and thankful because I put in a lot of time I put in a lot of time, and see, the thing is, nobody can ever say that I'm in it for the money, because I'm not. Never been. Never been. And after running this channel for a whole year, I maybe only asked a cash app for about 2 or 3 times, and that was it. You know, but I put in a whole year of service, and I accumulated a lot of video footage and things. And so, now I was running out of memory, because my main backup, and then my backup to the backup, and then my backup to the backup was being filled. So I had to give me a new hard drive. And thank God that I did. Now I got another year and a half worth of storage. And so before I have to go get another hard drive, but it's okay. It's all well worth it. And as these other YouTubers, the more that they go online and things, they will run into the same issue. But see, I like to save all of my lives so I can go back on it when I need to. And that's what I'm going to start doing. Taking bits and pieces of the lives that I did to re-enhance the points that I was making. Because some of these lives was 10, 12 hours long. And I mean, man, they were live. And it has been so juicy. The people, they didn't even want me to turn off the live. They wanted me to keep going. Oh my goodness, man. Now, when you have a live that you can do that and keep the interest of the people from the time you come on to the time you leave, and still people was coming at the time to when I was going to shut down, you're doing something. And so I made a name for myself, put myself on a mountain, and it's time for me to go ahead and elevate. It's time for me to do something different. And Kenneka Jenkins' case has touched worldwide, but now the powers that be covered all of this stuff up blatantly in your face. on years until I really start going in deep and hard and heavy and start really doing an investigation upon her. Because just like many of you, I was blind by a lot of stuff that was going on because I couldn't understand how a mother could go ahead and lose her child. In a manner like that, that disturbed me. And so, like many of you, it just caught my attention and it stayed with me ever since. And so, I was the only one who never referenced case files because I didn't believe in it. You didn't see me prance up case files and, oh, we'll look at the case files because it's actual, factual, and true and all like that. I've always the video footage that was given. Looked at and listened to all of the posts that the kids had made. And never followed the narrative of what another YouTuber had given. Never did that. Even when I played back their lives and listened to the stories that they made, I never did that. Never followed behind nobody. And I got to this point to where I am now, a whole year later. And I was the one who busted out a lot of the nefarious and hilarious madness that these YouTubers has been speaking. Now I understand wholeheartedly for myself why many people didn't want me to talk about this case. One, I was embarrassing these YouTubers. Two, I changed the narrative. Because when I came on YouTube, everything changed. The whole narrative changed. They could no longer sit back and say, oh yeah, that was Kenneka Jenkins walking the halls of that establishment and this and that and the other and so on and so forth. They couldn't do it. They couldn't make no more money. And I made it very vocal. And I got ridiculed. I got criticized. I got talked about. Oh, you name it, they did it. But it did not stop me going with that of what I believe that actually been digging. And the more that I dug in with this case, the more that people start to reach out to me. The more of the emails and calls that I got from different ones, politicking with different ones and stuff, connecting with different ones. And getting a greater understanding as to what was going on, truly going on with this case. Now, did we get everything right? No, we didn't. But it's through perseverance, it's how and where I am now. And I'm so happy to say that I didn't have to reference case files to get to where I am. And I didn't have to depend upon no other YouTuber's narrative to get to where I am. I had people who politic with me. I had moderators who politic with me and different stuff like that. And then so he went on to another channel, politic with her and all, and sees that that didn't seems that that didn't pan out for him. So when things got a little rough, they start talking about him. Then he ended up leaving. A lot of changes has been made. But it was okay because my whole goal and objective was to get to the bottom of this and understand and get to the truth of the matter, regardless. I never took anything personal. A lot of people fell out of friends with me because of this case, but that's okay because, again, I never took anything personal. People have to understand when you're running a channel, you're dealing with a lot. You're dealing with a lot of people. You're dealing with a lot of personalities. You're dealing with a lot of issues. And people want you to dance around them. You know, did I make every decision right? No, I didn't. Did I make mistakes? Yes, I did. But I did the best that I could. And I'm happy and I'm proud of every decision that I made because it's a learning, it's a learning curve, you know? You got to do what's best for you to protect and grow your channel. It's always going to be somebody else who's all the time is going to have an opposing view, or is going to have something to say in things, but you know, those are the ones who's all the time have their mouths open, but they never support the channel. Now, the ones who do support the channel, they know that I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the ones who's all the time have their mouths open, all the time complaining about this and that and the other, and tell me what I need to do. You know, my thing is, don't tell me what to do. Why don't you come and support? Why don't you come and showcase whatever talent that you have? Why don't you go and host a live or you know, do something more and hosting a live every now and then, that's okay, but that's not the kind of thing that I'm asking for. I'm asking you to come consistently and host a live and do the things that needs to be done and stuff, you know. But you don't have people like that does that. The only one who I ever had do that was Tiffany. Tiffany was my backbone. Tiffany was there through thick and thin all the time. I'll call her, Tiff, you know, okay. A lot of times she didn't feel like it, but she went on and did it anyway. Then a lot of people got jealous of her and things because every time I mention her name, people are you all the time mentioning her and this and that and the other. Oh, I get it, but why? Why do you have issues? You ain't been around like her, you know. You ain't been doing much like her and stuff. So everybody think that they're more special than the next person. Well, truth be told, she was really the only special one. The only special one. And really the only one that I truly should have given, and I did give credit to. You know, but when you're dealing with a bunch of women, you know, you're dealing with a lot of issues. You're dealing with a lot of personalities and things. And it's all the time this yada, yada, yada type of stuff and things. You know, you get tired of that. So you go and you have to make some changes. And that's exactly what I did. Now, was the changes right? Maybe not, but it was what I had to do. And there's a period of time, people's, you tend to sit back and you tend to reflect upon all that has happened and stuff. But then at the end of the day, I made the decision. Nobody else did. I did that. And I have to live with that. And I have to move on from that. And that's what I'm doing. It's exactly what I'm doing. You know? And so transition is always hard, but it's necessary. And I've always said that, with things evolving, even in the time of the pandemic, we had to learn how to adjust. And a lot of things were shut down and stuff. We couldn't do a lot of stuff. Very first time in all of our lives. We never seen anything like that happen. Never. But we made it through. But we all had to change things. And we still changing. A lot of people still haven't recovered from the pandemic. A lot of people's lives has changed forever because some people, they went on and their loved ones had died and things. Friends had died. A lot of people were in debt. A lot of people got rich. A lot of people lost their jobs and a lot of people found jobs. But everybody's life on this earth has changed in a major way. And it was an uncommon phenomenon that has happened that took us all by surprise. Now we're walking around with masks. Some people still wear masks. Some people is going to wear masks for the rest of their lives because they don't trust the government. They don't trust the system. They don't trust anything that's going on now. You know, they can say, "Oh, well, the pandemic is over with," but yet it's still, you know, they're still going to wear masks. So it's going to be with us for the rest of our lives and things. Things that has happened now, is going to be with us forever. It's not. We're not going to. I've always used to play that song. Take me back to the place where I first received you. But see, it's not talking about life itself. It's talking about a relationship with Christ. When the how God, when you first received the Lord, take you back to that particular time and things. That's what that song is about. I never want to go back to a place in time to when all I knew was just hurt, harm, and pain. Never want to go back there. I don't know if anybody who ever wants to go back there. But that's what memories is here for. Memories is here so we can recount those wonderful moments in time to give us strength in the time of weakness, in the time of sorrow, in the time of trouble. You know, when we have memories and good memories and things, we tend to feast upon that, and that'll help us through these hard times that we face. And these are the times that I would love to recount. So when I am feeling weak and down and lonely and depressed, I can always remember the time when I first received the Lord as my personal Savior. Take me back to that time. Take me back to when I first received you. Take me back to when the Spirit of the Lord just really moved within me, was my comforter and was my guide and still is. But I have to call upon the Lord. I have to remember those times. I have to do those things. I can't ask the Lord to bless me, and I don't try to bless Him. I don't try to bless His people. I can't ask for that, and I don't try to put that in action. I don't try to do that. I got to be the one. And when I've learned to do that, peoples, then and only then is where I will find peace, joy, happiness, and not no sorrow, and hope for tomorrow. It is at that point in time is when I find my strength, and I'll be able to press forward. See, when I do these lives, it's therapeutic for me. It's a blessing for me to be able to do that. Y'all hold on for a moment. Okay, peoples, I am back. Finally made it home. Trying to get all of this stuff on my car. Put my phone on the charger. But yeah, that is what it is, peoples. So I think I'll find out. So when I do the lives, it's therapeutic for me because it helps me to go ahead and be able to relax and let go a lot of the things that I've been thinking about and sometimes stress over. You know, that's why I love going live. As when my mom had passed away, my brother passed away, that's when everything had went down. My whole life had just changed. Completely changed. And it's different when, you know, many of you may have your mother and father. Cherish them now while you still have them. One day, it'll come a time to where your parents will be gone, and then you'll be in my shoes. You're gonna wish that they were still around. Love upon them. Love upon them as much as you can, because time is coming, and everybody is going to have to give an account. Everything is changing, and who's to say? You know, we may go before them, but if you are blessed enough to be able to be here and see your parents pass on, well then, you know, and if they're still here, love upon them. Love upon them majorly. Love upon all of your friends. Love upon everybody. Don't have people who you're angry with and things. That's why anybody who ever did anything to me, that's why I bless them. I don't hold no grudges against people. They may hold grudges against me, but I don't hold no grudges against people. You know, I don't do that. Because that's how you hinder your blessings. You bless them and you go on. You know, you bless them and you go on. There's no need to hold grudges and things over silly stuff and stupid stuff. It's not even worth it. That's why you have to go ahead and live your life like it's no tomorrow. But be cautious. Be careful. You know, how you do that and things. Don't just go out do stupid stuff just for no apparent reason. But make sure that of what you do is going to be honorable. It's going to be something that is going to be able to have you be remembered in a good way. even when nobody else wants to see it that way. Because remember, you can't please everybody. You can't, and don't even try. Don't even try to appease people, because they'll let you down every time. Every time. So live your life for yourself. Do what you need to do for you, and move on. And that's what I've learned to do. I've learned to do it with people, and I've learned to do it without people. You know, because time changes. People change, attitude change, situation changes all the time, and you have to be prepared for those changes. For when they come, gotta be prepared, peoples. You know, you got to be prepared for when all of that happens, so it doesn't blindside you. And that's what I've learned to do. Learn to take the good and the bad. Learn to go ahead and do that of what I needed to do. Oh, I made it just in time because my battery on the phone went down to 50%. So let me go ahead and log on to. All right, I had to log on to my computer. Let my phone charge up some. So I get that out the way. That's cool. So people, that's what you need to do. You need to, when the change come about, you need to embrace the change. Embrace the change and move on and live your life. You know, don't worry about yesteryear. Don't worry about yesterday, because that'll take care of itself. But learn to live your life like it's golden. Do that of what you need to do. And when you do that, peoples, you'll be satisfied. Don't try to live your life to please others, because then you'll always be disappointed when things doesn't happen right for you. You know, you got to live your life. You got to want to change. You got to do what you do for you. And anybody else who doesn't like it, well then hey, that's their problem. Let me share my screen. See, peoples? See that right there? I'm 89%. I'm almost finished with copying all of that video footage off my external hard drive and putting it on this hard drive, the new one that you guys helped me with. And see, look at that. I hardly even used any of it. That's a beautiful thing, peoples.
6.2 terabits free out of 7.27 terabits. That is a beautiful thing. I thought that it must be more than 8 terabits because on my backup drive it says 992 gigabytes free of 4.5 terabits. So I thought that it was going to, I don't know, maybe it's something, I don't know. I can't call it, people. That's amazing to me. But let's see. I still got 388 gigabytes to go. So that's really amazing to me. So I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I can't really call it, but I just know that that's what I got. So I thought that it was going to take up more memory than what it did, but it's not. So and I copied everything on there. So, but that's cool. But at least I have a lot of memory. Clear both my external hard drives. So which is really good. So that's free up a lot of stuff. So this shows me, people, how much you guys love Edward Joseph. You know, for the unselfish act that you all have done when I had asked for the call to help me get more memory, and you guys showed up and showed out in a magnificent way. That showed me, really, truly, how much you love me and the support that you gave. And I am greatly appreciative of that. I don't take that lightly, peoples. I mean greatly appreciative of that. That really touched me because you guys really showed how much you really appreciate and love me and appreciate this channel. Because people's you didn't have to do it. You didn't have to do it, but you did. And because of you did, man, I'm greatly appreciative of that. So I'm like, wow. I'm just testing this out to see what's going on with this. And very interesting. So just trying to see what all I can do with this thing here. Which is really interesting. Brush. Okay, let's see. Auto enhance, auto color, eye removal, compare before and after, sync map info. That's the brush. Let me do the brush. Okay. Okay. Make it brighter. That's interesting. Okay. Wow. This is really something, peoples. Okay. Sharpen. Light strong. Noise reduction off. Invert. Saturation. Shadows. Make it black and white. And that. Making color. Auto color. Auto enhance. Okay. Show more. Okay. Color vivid. Make it warm. You can even add. All right, let me close that. And I don't even want to make no changes to it, so hope I didn't mess that up. Select none. So how do I go back to its original state? Undo. Undo. So do I have to undo all of them? Undo. Undo brush edits. Undo crop. Undo vertical. So I'm gonna have to figure this out, people. Undo horizontal. Undo horizontal flip. Undo horizontal. Undo rotate. Undo rotate. Take it back to its original state. Yep. And that is its original state. Good. All right. See, this is one reason why I love this, because I can scroll through all of the pictures just like yeah. So in my next live, I'm going to talk about this area. In my next live that I do, I'm going to talk about this area. See, look at Kenneka's stomach. See that? Look at her stomach. She was pregnant, peoples. Every time that I look at this picture, it just disturbs me. It really does. It really disturbs me. It really disturbs me how they did this, baby. You know, really does. And I don't know if it really bothers you guys, but it bothers me to a great deal. It does. It bothers me a great deal. See, I'm glad that I have this because now I can just scroll through all of the pictures and just scroll to whatever picture I want to show and be done with. Instead of keep having to go back to a folder and to a folder to a folder. See, this is what kills me right here. They say 3:20 a.m. Saturday, Jenkins is seen on surveillance video staggering drunk near the front desk, according to authorities. The family says they haven't. The family says they aren't told about this until 10 p.m. that night. Okay, so this doesn't line up. This is the case files, peoples. But this doesn't line up with what the attorney had stated. It says 136 Saturday, a live stream on Facebook appears to show the hotel room on the ninth floor where the party is being held. The video, which has gotten more than 4 million views, features a woman in mirrored sunglasses talking to the camera. Reflected in her glasses is the other side of the hotel room where Jenkins appears to be sitting. And then it's funny how from 136 to 320, they never mentioned anything about her walking in the hall. They never mentioned anything about her getting off the elevator, but you can clearly see that on video footage. So why is it that they selectively putting things in and selectively leaving things out? See, people, this is what I'm saying. This right here. This right here is exactly what I'm saying. This right here is exactly what I'm saying. And nobody is paying attention to that. No, nobody is paying attention to that. You guys, hold on. Okay, people, so I'm back. So I'm not going to be on here too long, but I just wanted to point this out. So you got Casey Cloy Overa Sanchez Medina keeps telling you to reference the case files. Okay, so that is the case files. People's right there. And the case files didn't reference her getting off the elevator at 2:30. It just skips and jumps all the way to 3:20 or whatever that said. Yeah, 3:20 as it stated. So if this is supposed to be a true representation, where is all of that time that she was supposed to be in the hall? Where's the time that it clearly shows her, and they showed that on the news, her getting off the elevator and walking into the halls and walking into the kitchen? Why isn't this case file stating all of that? Why does it just skip from one place to another place and just be done with? See, nobody is questioning that. These are the things I'm be pointing out. These are the things that I'm saying. These are the things that I'm showing. But nobody is questioning that. But yet they want to sit down and listen to Casey Cloy Overa Sanchez Medina and call her the guru of the Kenneka Jenkins case, which I've been clearly showing you for the longest time. But yet, instead of listening to me, everybody wants to get mad at me because of the things that I say or how I say it. That's how you guys do it. That's how you guys do it. You get mad at me for what I say and how I say it and all like that. What I say and how I say it ain't got nothing to do with the case files. It has absolutely nothing to do with the case files, peoples. Nothing whatsoever. So all of that madness is a distraction and causing a reaction that still has nothing to do with the case files. Has nothing to do with this case. Period. But you guys give in to that madness. You guys give in to that madness. And that's what's surprising to me, because instead of listening and looking at what I am trying to convey to you, now you want to cop an attitude. And that's the one thing I never understood. What are you copping attitude with me for? And for what? Why is everybody getting all up in arms and things? People, I want to share something with you guys. I just saw this post. I'm gonna post it to my Kenneka Jenkins chat. I'm not gonna be on here long. About to get off here, finish cleaning up. Gotta wash these dishes and put up this food, and then I'm going to bed. So it took all of this time for all of this video footage to load up to my external hard drive, which I'm so grateful for. And look, I still got all of that extra memory because this is an 8 terabit hard drive. This is a 5 terabit hard drive. So I'm gonna clean all of this stuff up. I'm gonna clean all of this stuff up, clean all of this stuff up, put it on here, clean all of my C drive, put it on here, and then we're just gonna work off of this. Then I got all of that extra memory left to do whatever I need to do. Man, that I'm just so happy. I'm so blessed. So with that, peoples, I want to bless you guys with this little thing here. So let me share my screen in a second here. Let me share my screen. Let me refresh my screen. Let me call this thing up right here. I'm gonna put this on. Okay, let's go ahead and turn up the volume on this. Let me share my screen.
I have to pick my daughter up from school. My bus leaves in 2 minutes, and I'm missing $1. Do you happen to have $1 I can use?
You do realize you're talking to a homeless man.
I'm so embarrassed.
For your daughter, I have no problem with that.
Seriously?
For your daughter.
Thank you so much. What's your name?
Your name is Bobby.
I'll be honest with you.
What's that?
I don't really need this.
I thought you said you had to pick up your daughter.
Bobby, I want to give this back to you.
You sure you don't need it?
The first person who was going to help me out, I was going to give them $500. Hey, God bless you, okay?
Sorry, crying. I was just trying to keep my composure.
Give me a hug, man.
God bless you.
God bless you too, brother. Hey, sir.
Slow down. What's going on?
I have to pick my daughter up from school. My bus leaves in 2 minutes, and I'm missing $1. Do you happen to have $1 I can use?
You do realize you're talking to a homeless man.
I'm so embarrassed.
For your daughter, I have no problem with that.
Seriously?
For your daughter.
Thank you so much. What's your name?
Your name is Bobby.
I'll be honest with you.
What's that?
I don't really need this.
I thought you said you had to pick up your daughter.
Bobby, I want to give this back to you.
You sure you don't need it?
The first person who was going to help me out, I was going to give them $500. Hey, God bless you, okay?
Sorry, crying. I was just trying to keep my composure.
Give me a hug, man.
God bless you.
God bless you too, brother. Hey.
See, peoples, that is a lesson for all of us to learn. It's a lesson for all of us to learn. We never know what situation people may be in. And the Bible teaches us it is more blessed to give than it is to receive. And see, peoples, I have learned throughout my years, and I have given a lot to a lot of people, a lot of homeless people. I used to cook for them all the time when I was able to. Gave away a lot of gifts and things to a lot of people, not just homeless people, but to a lot of people. I blessed people. I blessed the church. I blessed friends and family, everybody and things. And this is why I'm so blessed. This is why I am able to do the various things that I do now, all because of the heart that I have. And these are the lessons that I try to pass on to different ones. Who listens? Not the people who's in their feelings, but the people who genuinely listen. When you learn how to give and give not grudgingly, God will bless that gift that you have given, that sacrifice that you have given, and He will bless it abundantly, and He will bless it 100 times more and then some, all because you wasn't selfish in your giving. And so people's, when we learn to bless people, and it doesn't necessarily have to be money, but it can be a kind word. It can be a good gesture. It can be a hug. It can just be a handshake. Anything that you do and you don't do it grudgingly, people, God will bless that 100-fold and then so. And so people's learn to be a giving person. Learn to be kind and considerate. Learn to be one that blesses the masses. That's why I've always shout out blessings to each and every one of you. When you come in, I give you salutations. And then when you exit, I give you salutations. I bless you abundantly. And so, peoples, these are the things that when we learn to do, God gives back to us. And so, peoples, I pray that many of you will search your heart, search your heart, and find something good to be able to say and do for another. Search your heart. Well, the Super Bowl is over with, peoples. They have won. Super Bowl is over with. They have won. And so I can close that. I'm going to close that. I'm going to take a look at this here. Take a look at these things and stuff. And go ahead and get myself together, peoples. And trying to just wait until this is finished so I can be able to shut down. This is one thing. Okay, let me play this right quick. I'm gonna play this while I'll go ahead and finish washing the dishes.
Just got better.
So let me.
Hey, it's Dana from StreamYard. I'm so excited to announce that.
Y'all, this got me.
Turn up the volume on this.
So up. Like, I just got woke up. I'm talking about 20 messages.
Let me share my screen a different way.
Messages back to back, screenshots, this about you, this and that. Like, man, this whole 11 years older than me. I'm 17, he 28. What the is you doing on Facebook? Over here trying to, you feel me? Like, you make yourself look stupid. Mad because I don't want to come over his house because he got fleas. Like, I really need a brother so he can go over there and be his. This don't got no car. He don't got no house. He live with his sister and his mama. Like, I'm not about to keep doing this with the same. Like, already, where my restraining order at? He already violating restraining order. Like, baby, I do not do this.
A mother says her daughter's killer threatened the teen for months before he eventually shot her. 17-year-old LaShonda Childs died early this morning after the shooting we brought you as breaking news yesterday afternoon.
Childs said her daughter hoped to be free of a man that terrorized her for the last year. She says LaShonda dated Trendell Goodwin a couple times in September of last year, but he told her he was just 20 years old. Childs says her daughter told her Goodwin turned her life into a nightmare with controlling, abusive behavior.
He made me walk from our house to his house with a gun pointed in my back. She said, I was scared for my life as well as my family's life. He killed her like he said he was.
17-year-old LaShonda Childs was just starting out in life. She was a business owner and had many goals she wanted to achieve, but sadly her life was tragically cut short due to a long-standing and dangerous domestic violence situation involving her 28-year-old ex-boyfriend. Despite multiple efforts to protect herself and seek help, including getting a restraining order, calling the police, and sharing disturbing details of the abuse on social media, LaShonda's ex-boyfriend would resort to the ultimate act of violence by pulling the trigger and taking her life. Why wasn't she protected after so many public pleas for help? Welcome to Viral Crimes. Subscribe and hit the bell icon for more stories. This story takes us to Dayton, Ohio. 17-year-old LaShonda Childs enjoyed spending time with her friends and would often take over the house with her beauty supplies, waxing eyebrows, doing hair, makeup and nails. She launched her own company, the Beauty Bender LLC, where she offered beauty services. LaShonda was planning to be a cosmetologist, maybe one day opening her own business. The beginning of LaShonda's and Trendell's relationship occurred in September of 2017. LaShonda had been led to believe by Trendell that he was 20 years old, and once she discovered that he had lied about his age, he began exhibiting symptoms of aggressive behavior towards her. February of this year, Trendell bit LaShonda so forcefully that she began bleeding. Following a dispute about text messages involving another lady, Trendell was arrested on February 19 after LaShonda reported to police that he had bit her left shoulder and struck her in the face. Trendell completed 19 days of a 180-day sentence for misdemeanor assault. Trendell was told to stay away from LaShonda, was put on house arrest, and required to seek counseling. Trendell would often take LaShonda's phones and harass her and her family. He was the type of guy who would call you 70 times a day, nonstop. It was aggravating as well as annoying and scary, said LaShonda's mother. According to LaShonda's brother, Trendell continued to contact LaShonda even after their breakup. She was actually in the process of leaving, he said. LaShonda allegedly confided in her mother about Trendell's abuse of her at some point. She told her mother about a time when Trendell made her walk from her house to his house with a gun pointed at her back and how she was scared for her life, as well as her family's life. LaShonda and her family repeatedly asked the police for help. Trendell was on probation for a misdemeanor assault case against LaShonda and was ordered not to see her when he allegedly pulled her hair and wig, set it on fire, and threw it at her, causing burns on September 13, 2018. The burning sensation caused her to drop her phone. Trendell picked the phone up and fled the scene. After this incident, Trendell sent numerous threatening messages to LaShonda and her friends and relatives. Trendell's probation was extended by 1 year, and a criminal protection order that required him to keep 500 feet away from LaShonda was upheld. Court records show that on January 31, 2018, Trendell kidnapped LaShonda. Trendell slapped LaShonda in the face after she told him she was leaving to hang out with a friend. The argument escalated until Trendell threatened to knock LaShonda out. Trendell then kicked her out of his home with little clothing. After LaShonda attempted to make contact with neighbors, she returned to the residence in an attempt to retrieve clothing and shoes. Trendell then dragged LaShonda into the residence and would not allow her to leave. When police officers arrived on scene, LaShonda could be heard from inside the residence, yelling that he would not let her out. Police broke into the home and arrested Trendell. LaShonda made a lengthy post on Facebook on the 21st of September, in which she discussed the risks of disregarding the warning signs of domestic violence. She stated, "All jokes aside though, everybody want a crazy guy until he got you hiding and dodging bullets. If you see the signs, don't ignore it, y'all. Domestic violence is real, not just in movies. This guy done broke several phones, busted windows out, followed me from my house to wherever, bit me several times, threw me into walls, made me walk places with a gun to my back, put all my stuff in a sewer, held me hostage in a house and didn't let me leave, sat and waited at abandoned houses and watched me, pulled my whole sew-in off leaving bald spots, all that. Now he done set my hair on fire and shot my house up. That ain't even half the shit he did. But I'm telling y'all, that ain't where it's at. If y'all see the signs, don't ignore it. I should have left that guy a long time ago. Now I ain't even safe in my own house." Trendell responded to the post saying, "If y'all really believe this shit, y'all sick. This the 12th or 13th time she said I did something but still coming back. Stop it." Trendell had the following response when someone suggested that he should let LaShonda breathe. "I'ma let her breathe today. She better come home tomorrow though, I got a big day planned and some good news. One of the comment threads on the post that raised the most frightening concerns was one in which a friend suggested she block him because he got way too much access to her. LaShonda responded. Blocking don't help, he stole my phone, he can get access to all my shit. Her friend then told her to leave the city before you end up dead somewhere. LaShonda said, I am. Less than 2 weeks after LaShonda's troubling Facebook postings, Trendell Goodwin shot and killed her. On October 2nd, Trendell opened fire on LaShonda and her new boyfriend as they were inside a parked car. After receiving a bullet wound to the head, LaShonda's boyfriend rushed her to the hospital. On Wednesday morning, she was declared dead. LaShonda dialed 911 only moments before she and her boyfriend came under fire. This dude got a gun pointed to my boyfriend's head, LaShonda said on the 911 call. I've got a restraining order on him. The police told me to call when I see him. I gave you the address. Can't you just send somebody out there? I'm scared. He's got a gun. I can't talk. I'm in a bad situation. LaShonda was fatally shot in the head. The evening after the shooting, Trendell was placed under arrest and was later charged with her murder.
First at 11, the man accused of killing a Dayton teen pleads not guilty.
28-year-old Trendell Goodwin was in Montgomery County Court today where a judge set his bail at $1 million. He is accused of shooting to death 17-year-old LaShonda Childs while she sat in a parked car on Shoup Avenue.
Also there in court today was Child's family on what would have been her 18th birthday, and friends of Child's continue to honor her memory as well. 2 News reporter Judith Ratana live in Dayton with our top story at 11.
This game, you're not ready for it.
You're in the middle of this beautiful sci-fi environment, and you're seeing intrigue, the espionage, the alliances form, the power that shifts around, and it's amazing to watch.
Simple actions can have massive effects.
You can cooperate with people, compete with them, make friendships.
17-year-old LaShonda Childs was shot on Tuesday and died early Wednesday. Those closest to her still mourning a death that came too soon. LaShonda Childs should have been turning 18 years old today. Police say her life was taken by 28-year-old Trendell Goodwin, who family has described as an ex-boyfriend. On her birthday, Devin Harris shows us a fresh tattoo. R.I.P. LaShonda.
My ex-girlfriend, basically my first love.
Harris says the two met when they were 15 years old.
She hit me up one day, and we ended up chatting online, then we end up meeting up in person.
Now, 3 years later, he and Child's loved ones are trying to cope with their loss. The suspect in her death spent the day in court.
In view of the allegations here, the bond would be $1 million cash or surety.
In a 911 call made by Childs on Tuesday, she said Goodwin had placed a gun to her current boyfriend's head and that she had a restraining order against him. Heavily redacted court documents showed just a few weeks ago, a restraining order was filed against him for snatching a woman's phone and wig before setting it on fire and throwing it on her, resulting in major burns. The same document shows 3 days later, the petitioner believed Goodwin fired shots into their house. And Dayton police records say Goodwin allegedly hit and bit Childs back in February. Harris says the loss of Childs still hasn't set in.
It really ain't get an impact to me yet, because it's all shocking right now. Surprise.
Trendell later decided to plead guilty to LaShonda's murder.
Minutes before a murder trial was set to begin in Montgomery County, it was called off. Instead, a Dayton man accused of shooting and killing his ex-girlfriend admitted to doing it and entered a guilty plea.
News Center 7's John Bedell walks us through the last-minute plea deal, and he explains what we will see instead of trial testimony this week.
We were expecting a jury to be seated in Trendell Goodwin's murder trial Monday morning, but now this jury box will stay empty in this case because there will be no trial. Goodwin agreed to a plea deal Monday morning, admitting to a murder. LaShonda Childs was 2 days shy of her 18th birthday when she was shot and killed. We now know her ex-boyfriend, Trendell Goodwin, pulled the trigger. Instead of going to trial, he admitted to murdering Childs. Goodwin got into an argument with Childs and her boyfriend at the time in October. This was at a home on Moomaw Avenue in Dayton. Childs called 911 saying she and her boyfriend got into their car and tried to drive away. That's when Goodwin pulled a gun and started shooting. One of the bullets hit Childs in the head. Her boyfriend drove her straight to Grandview Medical Center, where she died. News Center 7 got a hold of court documents in this case that showed Childs and her family went to the police for help about Goodwin multiple times. In fact, less than 2 weeks before her death, Childs posted, quote, "Domestic violence is real," on her Facebook page. The plea agreement says Goodwin pleaded guilty to murder with a firearm specification attached, which will add time to his prison sentence, discharge of a firearm on or near a prohibited premises, and felonious assault with a deadly weapon. The plea document says he agreed to a sentence of 18 years to life in prison, but the judge will have the ultimate say on his punishment.
LaShonda's family gathered in court for Trendell's sentencing.
29-year-old Trendell Goodwin will spend 18 years to life in jail for the murder of 17-year-old LaShonda Childs. He won't be considered for parole until 2038. But Child's mother, Nina, says this can never bring back her daughter.
My daughter no longer have a voice that we can hear.
But it never fully closed the wound. We still have a lot of information that we don't know what happened.
Before her death, LaShonda posted to social media about how scared she was of Goodwin, her ex-boyfriend. She even had a restraining order against him, but it didn't save her life. Child's family says they'll have to carry on as best they can, but they'll never forget LaShonda.
Just trying to move on, live a normal life, you know. We still think about it all the time.
The YWCA of Dayton has several programs and services to help victims of domestic violence. If you are in need of help, call their hotline at 222-SAFE.
LaShonda's death has devastated her family and friends and has caused many on social media to wonder why she wasn't protected when she was obviously crying out for help. She was a young girl who requested help the best way she knew how, and sadly, no one was able to help her. My condolences to her friends and family. She should be here. She should have been protected. May you continue to heal and one day find peace. If you or someone you know is experiencing domestic violence, there is help 24/7. Just call the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-7233, SAFE, for confidential support and resources. You don't have to face this alone. And if you're a friend or family member of someone in an abusive situation, your support can make all the difference. Listen to them, believe them, and help connect them with the resources they need. Seeking help is a brave step, and you shouldn't feel embarrassed or ashamed of getting help. It could be the difference between life and death. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.
Dex, that body we just found.
People, let's go ahead and watch this video. I'm almost finished washing my dishes. Okay, Lindsay's blessings to you, man. Welcome back. All right, people, so let's take a look at this video. People who is suffering from domestic violence, you don't have to be in this alone. There's plenty of help. Reach out to someone who would listen. And take this as a warning to all, because it can happen to any one of you. Learn the telltale signs of domestic abuse, peoples. Let's go.
We're talking about the shocking turn in court today in the trial of Aiden Fucci. He now says he did it. He's guilty of stabbing to death his classmate, Tristan Bailey, in St. Johns County. The teenager's body was found in a woods on Mother's Day back in May of 2021. This case has upset so many people. So let's dig into what happens next. Shannon Schott is a legal analyst here for us, and she is an attorney and an expert on juvenile law. And we appreciate your being with us. This dramatic change, this announcement in court today, is it possible it would give Fucci a lighter sentence?
Not necessarily. It could be considered as mitigation or good information for the judge when he ultimately sentences Aiden Fucci, as saving the family from the added trauma of having to go through the trial.
So let's talk about remorse. You're saying that is very, very important. And I'm sure you all have seen, we're about to play for you again here. The only statement from Fucci in court today, it was very short.
Mr. Fucci, is it your desire to enter a plea of guilty to one count of first-degree murder?
Yes, sir. And I'm sorry for the Bailey family and my family.
So that was the entire statement. It was very short. How important is convincing the judge that you are truly sorry? And do you think that was a good start or maybe not?
Whenever you're sentenced in Florida, remorse is not allowed to be considered unless the defense raises the issue. I think making that decision to say I'm sorry, and maybe the defense attorneys weren't aware he was going to say this, but saying you're sorry raises that issue, and now you've kind of started the sentencing hearing off on this path of remorse. It will be very hard for the defense attorneys to fully help Aiden Fucci articulate sincere remorse in this case, because let's not forget he's been incarcerated. His ability to communicate is maybe not as strong, and that will be an uphill battle for the defense to really show sincere remorse.
So in this case, not a particularly great first impression, you're saying?
I don't know that I would have advised him to make that statement, and I think if there was going to be a statement, it needed to land a little bit more. There's a question about the sincerity of the statement that was made.
So we have already seen Fucci doing some things that are questionable, if not contrary to I'm feeling sorry for you all. And one of those was in the back of a police car. Now, this was a Snapchat video that was posted, and the text message, the Snapchat message said on the screen, "Hey guys, has anybody seen Tristan lately?" And this was after, now we know, that he stabbed Tristan to death. He also talks about having fun in a police car. So how does the defense deal with that type of stuff that's already out there on social media? And will the judge be showing that if he hasn't already seen it in the sentencing hearing?
Absolutely. The state's going to show over and over that Aiden Fucci is not remorseful. But to that point, the defense would need to show why maybe he's not able to express remorse, or maybe there's some issue in his past through the testimony of experts who have analyzed him, who have interviewed him, and perhaps provided treatment. And as we know now, he is on antipsychotic medications, antidepressant medications, and there's certainly going to be a question as to whether he has the capacity to show remorse.
Let's talk a little bit more about the sentencing hearing. For one thing, on the 23rd of February, it's not going to be all decided that day, right? It's more like a procedural thing.
From what we understand, they're asking for at least 2 days to have the hearing. So yes, I don't expect it to happen on the 23rd.
And it's a lot of preparation, you say, for the defense.
Absolutely. The defense should be gathering mitigation, or that good information that we talked about, from the day he was arrested. They're going to tell the story of Aiden Fucci's life, the good, the bad, the ugly, and try to make arguments as to why he should be entitled to rehabilitation through a juvenile sentence, or if he's sentenced as an adult, that he should get a lesser amount of time. But also they're laying that foundation for that 25-year review that he's going to be entitled to make sure that when he's reviewed later, the court has that information to consider, like whether or not he was abused or neglected as a child.
And so that has to be set in a court record now, and it can't be brought up again then in 25 years, say, oh yeah, by the way, he had a really tough childhood.
It should be part of the record evidence at the first sentencing hearing in order to make sure that when it comes up for review, that record is clear, that this is not something that's just being argued at this point.
So what else could we find out in the sentencing hearing that we didn't find out from, since the trial never happened? But in a trial, you always say is, did he kill her or did he not? And then that's it. What else could we find out?
You're going to hear a lot about his mental health issues, his behavioral issues, the story of his life, like I mentioned, the good, the bad, the ugly, his home life, his school records. Who is Aiden Fucci? How did we get to this point? And is there an argument to be made that he maybe shouldn't get the maximum sentence? And then, of course, the state will bring in all of that inadmissible evidence that we probably would not have heard at trial, that really hammers home the arguments that they and the sheriff have made. And I think the word that they used was monster at one point.
So to answer some people's questions, I still hear people today saying, is there any chance that he could just maybe go for a mental health or incapacible, or what word am I looking for?
Incapacity.
Incapacity, right. Thank you. Can he go for that, like the insanity defense, or is it too late?
It's too late at this point. Whether or not he's competent to proceed could potentially happen between now and the sentencing hearing. It's unlikely that will happen. But if at a later date when he's under a sentence, he becomes incapacitated and incompetent, then he will be treated through whatever department is currently housing him and given mental health treatment.
And because he's a juvenile, the death penalty is totally off the table. That's not going to happen.
Totally off the table.
So let's go back. 2005, the Supreme Court said that juveniles cannot receive the death sentence. But since then, a lot of things have changed. Florida court cases have been involved. And what do you do if a child, a juvenile, is sentenced to life in prison? Talk about that.
Yeah, so in 2005, the Supreme Court basically said we don't execute children in the United States. And since then, there's been many cases that talk about the procedure, the proper procedure, and whether and who can get a life sentence as a juvenile. It's really only the most culpable individuals in a homicide. So at this point, we have so much legislation and so many laws on the book, so many rules of procedure to help attorneys like me and the defense attorneys and state attorney in this case and the judge know exactly what needs to be done and what findings need to be made in order to make sure that whatever sentence is handed down is a fair and just sentence.
And let's talk about what could happen as far as the sentencing. At most, he could be in prison for how long? What's the minimum?
Sure. So because he's a juvenile, there's kind of a parallel case going on in the juvenile courts. The judge ordered what's called a predisposition report, which has to be considered. And the judge essentially has to rule out the reasonableness and the appropriateness of a juvenile sentence. So the least amount of time he's looking at is probably an incarceration in a juvenile facility until he's 21 years old. The most amount of time is going to be life in prison with a minimum of 40 years at the short end of an adult sentence. And so the judge has to determine if punishment is appropriate in an adult sentence or if rehabilitation is appropriate in a juvenile sentence.
So looking back at data on how often either goes to the juvenile sentencing side or the adult sentencing side, which is more frequent?
So when a child ends up in adult court, it's because the state has certified them as an adult or has indicted them. So it's really one side, the prosecution, making that decision. So the judge, as the referee of any case, really has an opportunity to say, you know what, this child is entitled to be rehabilitated and receive the benefits of our juvenile justice system, rather than just be sentenced as an adult where we basically throw away the key and just let them live their time in prison. It's a great opportunity for a judge to really weigh the facts and circumstances of a child's life, but it's very unusual for a child to be sentenced back to the juvenile courts. I would say, without having the data in front of me, that, you know, it's very rare. I certainly don't see it a lot in my practice, but it has happened, and there's some high-profile cases in which it has happened.
So let's talk a little bit more about that 25-year review. So after he's been in prison for 25 years, there is a review, has to be mandated by law. And so talk about the change that he could become. He could be a different person. Maybe he's not. The development of a juvenile's brain.
So we already know, and this is part of our federal jurisprudence in the Supreme Court cases, that child brain development does not complete until we're 25 years old. So since he was 14, he has basically been raised by other inmates. We hear in his voice has changed, his accent has changed. That is a product of being incarcerated. And now we know that he's been living in a box in solitary confinement. And so there can be a de-evolution of his mental state. And we don't know at what point he was put on these medications, but certainly he is not developing as a normal teenager would develop if he was not currently incarcerated. And then once he goes to prison, if that's ultimately what happens, he will be raised by other inmates and other convicted murderers and convicted criminals. And certainly that's not the environment where someone's going to maximize their potential as an individual. If he is able to do that in spite of his circumstances, certainly that would be considered in that 25-year review. And they look at the risk level, they look at the victim's next of kin and what their preferences are. They look at whether or not they are sincerely remorseful and if that remorse is sustained, and whether or not they've done anything to rehabilitate themselves, even though the system in and of itself does not seek to rehabilitate.
So you mentioned just now being raised in a box. I mean, he's already been in solitary confinement for quite a while. I've heard people today say, well, after he's sentenced, can he be in solitary confinement again?
Certainly, the executive branch of government, the sheriffs and the wardens control our jails and our prisons. And if he violates the jail rules or the prison rules, absolutely, he could be placed back in solitary confinement. However, there's just no evidence to say that just because he was in solitary in Duval, that he's going to be in solitary elsewhere. And it's possible that the prison experience could be less uncomfortable, not comfortable, but less uncomfortable than his time in the Duval County Jail.
And what does less uncomfortable mean? I mean, it's still a very dangerous environment for a juvenile, right?
Absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of things that happen in prisons, and there's a lot of legislation to protect juveniles and other offenders, but it's not a very exciting existence. And again, our juvenile or our adult criminal system, the intent is to punish. So you're not given any sort of luxuries, any sort of comforts in life. You're given 3 meals a day and a roof over your head, and that's pretty much what you can expect.
So let's talk about if there had been a trial. So we know there's not going to be, but if there had been, I'm sure this was part of the decision on the defense. Can we win the case? I mean, we never know. You don't know what a jury is going to do, a 6-member jury in this case. Could they have won? Were there holes in the prosecution state?
There were certainly things that, from my opinion as a defense attorney, I would like to have heard the answers to through the evidentiary process, like the blood spatter testimony. How is it that Aiden Fucci only had a speck or 2 of blood on his clothing? There were certainly questions as to the credibility of the witnesses who are going to testify on behalf of the state. But one of the bigger issues is that he had the right to an appeal before he entered a plea of guilty, and he has waived the right to appeal all of those issues we heard about in the weeks and months leading up to the trial.
So he's waived his right to appeal and to have a change of venue.
Yes.
So he cannot do that at all. Let's talk a little bit more of these blood specks. How would you have expounded on that in court? I mean, if you stab someone, this is horrible, but more than 100 times, how can you just have a couple specks of blood on your pants? What would you have said to the jury?
Well, that's certainly up to the state to prove the case beyond a reasonable doubt. But if there's a question as to how a 14-year-old boy who's presumably never murdered someone before is able to avoid being covered head to toe in blood when you stab someone 114 times, that is a question that the state would have to answer and explain through expert witness testimony, crime scene reconstruction. And so that would be something as a defense attorney that you would kind of say, that's a question that you need to look to the state jury for an answer, or else maybe there's reasonable doubt that he was not the one to have stabbed her while she was living. And certainly there could be expert testimony about, what happens with blood spatter when someone's alive or not living prior to actually being stabbed.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, and post-mortem versus like ante-mortem stab wounds and the difference between that.
So as far as all these medical photos and the terrible photos, the judge has already ruled some of them out, but I'm sure that some would be horribly difficult for the family to see. By not going through trial, will that spare the family from having to see some of this, or will the state still present some of these things in the sentencing hearing?
I think at this point, and I've talked to the attorney for the family, that is the one thing that really sticks out in my mind, that this family will not have to endure those photos, and I believe it was 50 photos of their deceased loved one mutilated on a big screen. And certainly saving the family from that trauma is very important to make a point of for the defense. However, the state has to make a decision about the necessity of that, but it's my understanding that the state attorney's office has a very good relationship with the Bailey family, and if it's not necessary, if he's pled to it, at this point, what would be the utility of showing those photos? I think those photos just need to go away and never see the light of day.
So there were some children or some teenagers who apparently noticed his behavior was off, not expecting a teenager to think, oh my gosh, he might go as far as murdering someone, but the kinds of things that he did, the knives that he carried, picker and poker that he named of the things they would do to someone's flesh, all these sort of things. Do we have any evidence that that was ever reported to adults? Is there something to that will be brought up in the sentencing hearing?
This is absolutely what will be brought up in the sentencing hearing. Children do not just wake up one day and murder someone. That's very unusual, especially in a first-degree premeditated situation. There had to have been warning signs, and as a defense attorney, that could be mitigation, it could be good information, or it could be aggravation and used by the state. But I think it's very important to say that if there were other children who were aware of this plan and the possibility that this person could execute this plan, then certainly, why did no one say anything? Why wasn't there intervention at school or with family? Or, those are the real questions that as a defense attorney, their duty is only to Aiden Fucci. So they can certainly call into question the parenting of his parents, the decisions they made as parents, and they can call in to question how the school handled incidents prior to this, to really make the argument that this could have been avoided. And if there is an argument that this could have been avoided, as a defense attorney, that's something you're really going to want to focus on to talk about the failures in the community.
Well, one thing is for sure, everybody called her a ray of sunshine, and you just look at her face, and she was so young, and just such a tragedy for the mom and the family. But it's good that the community has just rallied around them. But I always think about this mom in the middle of the night. I mean, I don't know what kind of nightmares she does or doesn't have, but as a mom myself, I don't know you could ever get over that. But that's just the
Absolutely.
sad reality of what's happened here. So
Absolutely. It's certainly a tragedy. 2 lives are lost, 2 families are never going to be the same. And it's just an important reminder that, we need the village. We got to watch these kids and we got to raise these kids right. And hopefully we as a community learn some lessons here.
That's good. Well, we appreciate it. Shannon
Thank you.
Schott, she's an expert on juvenile law and has lots and lots of juveniles in her experience, and she sees what goes on inside the courtrooms and inside the prisons and the jails and the facilities. So we appreciate what you've been doing, and we'll be back with you when we come to the sentencing hearing, February 23rd, which we understand is a Thursday at 9 a.m. Jeannie Blaylock, First Coast News, on your side.
Well, peoples, that is it. I am at the end of my journey. I have finished. I have finished. Copying all of the video footage on my external hard drive, and so I'm about to erase my hard drive. Got everything that I need. I just checked it. Everything looks good. So that is absolutely wonderful. I'm so happy. So let me go ahead and do this, peoples, real quick. So this is my G drive. Everything is there. And let me go to my D drive. And now let me go to my E drive. And everything is there. So let me compare my E drive to my D drive. So that's my E drive and my G drive. So that and that, yep. Warranty and warranty with the pictures, yep. All right, so let me go ahead and take all of this and click delete. All of that video footage. So took its time, it copied. So now I'm going to delete it off my D drive. Off my E drive. And then be done with. Then I'll have that drive all freed up. Copy the footage off my D drive and my C drive and put it on my E drive. And just work off of one drive. As you can see, it's taking its time and doing its thing. Yeah, it's really something, people. Yes, 112 items are too big. Yep, permanently delete them. So it's kind of sad to kind of do this, but then again, it's not sad because I'm not really just throwing away anything. So I have a backup to a backup to a backup. So don't worry, people. So all of this stuff is automatically being backed up to another backup source that I have. Okay, Canon, are you sure you want to delete it? Nah, I'm going to skip that one. Are you sure? Yep, I want to delete that one. 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 That one. That one. That one. That one. Okay, so everything in my E drive is already deleted. Okay, so that is a free hard drive. So let me go ahead and copy all of this. In my, this is the Kenneka Jenkins folder. So let me copy all that in my G drive. My G drive, and where it says Kenneka Lives. All right, so make sure I copy all of this. Okay. All of this is my Kenneka all of this is my Kenneka Jenkins files. Okay, minus the other few things I had. I will go ahead and copy those to different folder. All right, all of that into the Kenneka Jenkins lives. Right there. Copy on that. And then delete all that, and then copy those other few files into a separate folder. And then that'll clear that hard drive. And so that's cool. So now let's see, where are we now? Good. So my E drive is clear, my D drive will be clear, and my H drive will be clear. And then the only thing I have to do now is my C drive. And so I'm glad that I did get the 8 terabyte hard drive. Because another 5, but I still got 3. This drive is pretty much halfway full, but I still got a lot of memory left, and then I still got a lot of memory because I still got the 5 terabit hard drive that I can fill up. That took me a whole year, so I'm in good shape. But I wanted to get all of this stuff off my computer. So that's cool. So I'm in good shape. So my computer is already running faster now. Make sure that there's nothing in here that I need. So I'm going ahead and erase that. All right. So the only thing in here I would need is just the Pinnacle Studio things that I'll just copy separately. All right, people. So that is cool. And I just work off my G drive because everything will be in there. And then if I need to back up anything, I got 3 extra drives I can put it on. My E drive, my D drive, or my H drive. But I'm going to keep those free. Just put all of my lines in this folder. In this drive. Have everything on that drive and be done with. So that's it. That's all, peoples. That's all that I have right now. So, peoples, I am about to get off of here. It's the 11 o'clock hour. We almost at the 3 o'clock hour. Again, I appreciate all of my supporters, the ones who had sent money for me to get this external hard drive. I greatly appreciate you from the bottom of my heart because you allowed me to get a completely new external hard drive. Not only a hard drive, but you allowed me to get more software. And it's just been a beautiful thing. So as you can see here, peoples, I'm loving this right here because I can scroll through all of the pictures real quick, get to the pictures I want to see, and really talk about this case instead of having to keep clicking all in on different photos and whatnot. But man, it just makes a difference. But again, peoples, like I said, those other photos that I was just showing you, we're going to talk about that because it is a lot of information that's packed in it that you need to see. And then we're going to cover this topic right here from the case files, which doesn't show or tell about the young lady walking the halls of that establishment. It just cuts in, is selective as to what they are sharing. And that doesn't work for me. You can say Kenneka Jenkins all you want to and stuff, but you need to be more expressive in your approach when you're trying to give a narrative. And this narrative right here that they showed doesn't work for me, but that's going to be in part 4. We're going to do a part 4, peoples. Is that all right, peoples? So, peoples, I hope I had said something to encourage your hearts upon tonight. Tune in again next time to an Edward Joseph Let's Talk Live, Edward Joseph Kitchen, Edward Joseph Gospel Hour, Edward Joseph's Blessings Giveaway 2023 will come to you with something wonderful. I love you with the love of Christ, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Peoples, mask up and be safe. And again, peoples, thank you to all of my supporters who had sent your monetary gifts to help me get this external hard drive. I am greatly appreciative of you for all that you have done. You have blessed me considerably, and I pray the blessings of Jabez upon your life. And I pray that God will bless your faithfulness and will bless and increase for you 100-fold and some. And for the peoples who are thinking about doing it, I pray that you will, so we can continue to keep growing this channel, continue to keep doing the things that we do, and continue to keep growing. And continue to keep subscribing, continue to share because you care. Peoples, I will be back, and throughout the weeks to come, you will start to notice great changes within the lives itself, because I'm going to be putting some great things together as I learn more about this extra software that I was able to obtain through to your generous, lovable donations. Everything is always going towards the channel, peoples. All right, peoples, that's it. That's all. I greatly appreciate you. Love you much. God bless you all. Thank you for watching.